Hello, everybody. My name is Angel Manuel Rosado. I'll be doing the Zodiac. I will be using an ancient Taino language that you won't find in any books. Here, I will be using things from the early 1970s, early that period, because of the corruption that people have, like copycats. So I will only be using things that are earlier, because within that showed us basically his name and I discover his connections to the logo, to the other elements, and I will connect them, what makes that person. Even a picture of the Zodiac himself is within the evidence. Everybody concentrated mostly on these type of codes that were within the letters, and he wanted really to get those people away from his from revealing his true identity, his name. So here, I decided to go away from that and concentrated more on what I noticed, which it was the letters themselves. So here, this letter is from 1966. He was taunting the policeman, but in fact, he was also telling them who he was. So you begin to see that this letter has a form, and this form is actually, when I observed it, I noticed the pattern of consistency that has a movement. Almost you can see it. So he began to, what he did is he began to send him these little short messages. So in one of them, if you actually notice the first part between the word cut and blood spurting, that is just the letter I. The letter I. Then we go and move downward. He is actually starting to tell who this person is. So the next one is M. So now you got I am. And the truth is, I'll just jump this one real fast. This means I see you and I am you. Meaning that this man was capable of using their system or their abilities or their facilities to make these elaborate artwork. Really, that's what they are. And now I'm going to talk about this logo. This logo, he used to install it in many letters, many of his envelopes as a stamp, and it connects him to this logo connects him to who he is. Well, he created a business out of this, and it was celebrated instead of being refused. So here I'm going to explain where the logo is found in certain places in letters. So here you can clearly see that the logo is used as part of the envelope. So you can see it right there, a mountain with the writing, "Please rush to the editor." So here you can see that mountain repeatedly also if you look at the above sections of this envelope. So I will demonstrate another one. Here you can see, well, I can see it very clearly, but if I were to demonstrate where it is, you kind of be shocked, because I can see it all throughout this paper, the first time I ever saw it. So here you can see I drew many of the traces of these mountains. So it's all over many other papers, and this is what makes it so interesting, because it could have been, other papers on top of this. But the problem that I see is that it has that little logo, the other mountain on the other side. So it's very, consistent to its shape. So that means that either the person himself actually install them on these papers. So I will show you other that have this same logos on them, and they are done like an artwork. Here you can clearly see the logo again in sideways, and he repeated it over and over again, and then he did it again on the other side of the Dear Melvin letter from Melvin Beji from 1969. And I chose again things that are old because they're the most purest of its form and not corrupted by nothing else. So I also discover in this letter several things that like messages, and I'm going to now just tell you how I got them, and I'll put them up right now. In this letter, you will find that there's misspelled words: Christmas, difficult, possibly, victim, trigger, complete, and control. Each of these have been intentionally misspelled because it also gives you the message that he's trying to give to Melvin. So the message is: Christmas is difficult, possibly, victim, triggered, control. San Francisco, see Geo. That would be his I believe his wife at the time. So here you can see that all those little missing letters, they are for the message of San Francisco, see Geo. It's very clearly there. So in this picture, or in this letter here, now he has created another artwork to entertain himself and to torture the police. So, so you can clearly see again, there's the mountain, again, his logo all around the letter. Another thing is that he is angry about the movie Exorcist. The message in this is the Fonzie at the time, like Happy Days, the A. So this is in this letter. So so the other thing that is very interesting is that little picture there has significant meaning, and using the indigenous form, I would have to use that ability. So the meaning of that is the Lord is high in the sky, but this is a serial killer. That means that a body is in the sky. He has done some sort of murder. So that symbol there is exactly what that means. A body is dead. He's done someone in. So in the center, you will notice that on the part of the grave, there is a eye. That also means that he has buried someone. And that, the matching up to the symbols in that, in this letter. So that means that he has buried someone high in a mountain, in some high site. In this letter, it was sent in October 5th, 1970. 13 victims have been killed. And the message is very simple. It's just that he was going to do something again on 3rd Street. And the message was, you'll see. This is a letter from him to San Francisco Chronicle in 1970. He is planning to harm a woman and her baby. So, he's upset, and his message in this is he misspelled the word woman, and in here it says, I owe you. I owe you. And he also references a song that is done by Scott McKenzie, San Francisco, be sure to wear flowers in your hair, referencing either the woman or the child. By the reference of that song, wear flowers in your hair, it referencing that she would have been a hippie. This letter is actually from, again, San Francisco Chronicle, July 31st, 1969. Again, there are missing letters in here, and it spells, there's several messages in here. It says on the first part, I first will go on and kill rampage in the night. I see. In the night, I see. And then he references a song. Some of those misspelled words will say, I ride, I cruise. That is a reference to a 1970s blues image, Ride, Captain, Ride, meaning that this man, that song was not out yet. He happens to reference this style. It is the same. He's using the same caption of ride, Captain, ride. So he's using I ride. And as you can see, it's the same song. So he must have been in that studio in order to know that song, because it was not out until the 1970s. There were 3 letters that was sent to different locations. One of the things that I noticed is that of every different location, it was spelled differently, and it was said it was arranged in differently. Even though he kept saying that on each letter that he sent it to many of the same letter to many people of these facilities. So in this particular letter, there's the missing letters spell a message, and it says, took long hours for the job to be till, and he's explaining, till I'm calm, better be safe, exits for the job to be. Oh, I have to be safe too, I feel. Or if I feel. So that's the message that is inside this letter. This letter is from the Vallejo Time Herald, July 31st, 1969, the other letter sent to them. So in this particular letter, he also missed and changed the arrangement of how this is what I noticed, that they were arranged differently. So then it gives a different, similar, but a little bit of a different message. So for instance, the missing letters says again, saying that same song, but in this, he just added an O to it, which it would be, oh, I ride, I cruise. So then there is something about an address, 69 First Street, San Francisco, California. So, and then the biggest of all those missing letters, it says, I took longer. Let me say that again. I took longer for the job. Took pictures. I could bring some extra. So when it comes to these three letters, I would count them backwards, because you can tell that the message were getting bigger and bigger as they went to the other segments. So this would have been probably the first one. It was less message in this. It just said the 61 First Street, San Francisco, California. So this would have been the editor's letter of San Francisco Examiner, 1969. So in this one, he also gives the song, just adding also the I ride, and that sort of thing. And I ride and cruise. So that's the only part of the examiner's version. All right. In this letter, it's from San Francisco Chronicle, 1970. It has a code, and in that code, there is a reference to the energy produces an explosion on the road, mountain hill in the morning. So it's basically giving a location of where something is going to ignite. So within the message also are the missing letters. And it has two messages within this letter. And those missing letters are in serious, meanie, do, territory, and figure. They spell out serious, see me and do terror. Try figure it out. Now in this message, I also discovered a name. I will keep that part to myself, but I have found a name. This letter is the San Francisco Chronicle, 1970. I'll begin with the closest here, the SFPD-0. Now that symbol wasn't meant for the San Francisco PD. It was actually his signature. And this signature means your great front man. That is his signature. In the codes at the bottom section of this letter, it's just a bunch of insults against the officers who are in charge in this case. So all it is the dirty, tall pig, fat man. The fat man, only important things to do: go, show up tomorrow on the air in front of a great audience. Divide the people with things. Great, great. So one of the most scary part about this is that in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I realized I wanted to get the best quality I could, and I happened to hit on the book here, and the Zodiac managed to put his artwork within the papers, and I will show you parts of it. So from all of these pages, he created a 3D-like pictures with, for instance, page 57, hi, with Z. Page 58, his name and a logo, and his logo. Page 59, SFPD. Page 60, logo, skull, head to the right, two graves at the bottom in white lines. Page 63, word for hell. Page 65, hell with his logo. Page 66, Z, ta-ta. And page 67, hi, logo. I got interested in this page. This page is number 49. And I was asked to stare at this photo and just look at it. And then I realized there was something staring back at me. It was a face. And you can see it very clearly in right on top of that note. There says face. It's an ID. But then I also looked at the other artwork that he created. And that gave me the pictures that I'm going to put on this so you can have an example of the artistry. So he began to cover this picture over and over again with victims, and I recognized the body through this mess. So and I kept seeing the lady looking back, and I kept seeing more people on top of each other. And I noticed that the picture, he also continued to put them upside down. And then on top of that, he decided to put also the wanted picture on top of this thing. He's covering something that I really concentrated on, and it's an ID. So here you can see that there's some sort of little square, and it's an ID. I recognize. The more I stare at it, the more I can see it better. It was smiling back at me. So I decided to draw on it, So now you can see that there's a shape of a person in here. Now that there also has been doubled. So there's more of this person, but it's in one area only. And it has been moved around a little bit too. So now I'm going to reveal to you who this person is, because that person is in this card. I went and I got this black and white, and I instantly recognized the artistry from those other pictures. So in this, I noticed that there were letters all around. So let's see the color version of this. But I can clearly see the artistry. It has the similarity of the other pictures, of the other creations. In this card, it shows a lot of color, but not it still shows some of the letters. I can see them, and I will show you where I see them by writing. I decided to write on it so I can see and keep track of where I was. So here are the letters. So here you can see all the letters that are all around, But this person is in creates illusion, and he wants you to waste your time. So I already suspected the name of that person. So here I'm going to show you how I got the name. So he likes you to always be concentrating on those puzzles, and that is where he wants you to waste your time. So I didn't do that. I looked at the picture. The picture gave me everything I needed to know. So take a look at that hand with the 14 victims. And then I wanted to look at the back of that card. So in this card, let's concentrate, and I'll go straight to it. The eyes, see those eyes in the back of the card? Each of those represent a person that he has killed. They are buried in a desert, and they are, you can actually count them. The 4 that you see near those eyes, those 4 are the couples that he killed. There's a one in an eye on the upper with a word, "You are done." Peekaboo. Now that is a mother and a child. That is 2 people in one grave. So this is where I'm going to give you the logo as well. We're going to go to the front, and you will see that it matches that logo, that mountain, and also the 4 victims that you can actually see by the 4 eyes on the other side. So those 4 items, those dots are either his first kill, or he is just mocking those victims. Pay attention to these fonts. These fonts, he used them throughout the entire time that he's been terrorizing people. So in this, there's those letters, and he's basically saying, "Look for me." So and he's just again wasting your time. So let's go and reveal him. I recognize the hand gesture there, and that is actually the letter F. F. So now he has just revealed F, N, O, and Y. Now we got quite a bit of letters that we can play with on the puzzle piece. So in another letter, he also had mentioned that he had a nickname. So now I have a nickname, and I have a name, and I have his name. So I am now going to reveal it in here, and pay attention again to the way the hand was. It was the F. Here I have connected the name to his logo. So now you can see his logo in color here that matches his logo to the name of this person. So now we can match his name to this logo here. And his name, pay attention to the logo. His name is the Zodiac, and the name is Don Chaney, whose name is Frankie, whose nickname, is Frankie. So now you have the logo with the Z for Zodiac and the F for Frankie, who is Don Cheney. Now I'm going to connect him to something else. Here you can see that the picture that I was drawing that was in there what matches the face of this person. In this portrait here, which is really terrifying, I have matched his name also to this portrait. This is the March 22nd, the Lake Tahoe card. He was intending to also do harm to children. Within this portrait, he wanted to to do harm to children 6K to 8, and several names within this thing popped up. So here you got the name of the Zodiac within this picture. It's the same artistry that was in the books and also in the card. So in the card, you can see in front of it there are names and that I put in red, but I couldn't see because this is a low budget, a low quality portrait. But you can see that his intention was to go next to something else. And I will show you now the connection to him, to this, to his name, to this portrait. So in the background, you will see that there are also letters hidden within those trees and on the side. But the main focus is his name that is on this card. Up on the top section, you will see that it says Cheney. And Cheney is all across the top section of the trees. This card is actually made with Cheney. The entire card is the name Cheney, and with and adding all of the other elements that he wanted using the word Cheney. The trees are made with Y's. Everything is made with that name. And then the building themselves, as you can see here in two colors, and using also the ground, his name is right on those two, on all over those buildings, and as well as the ground and more. Like I said, the entire card is made from his own name. The disturbing part of it is that you can see now that also the people were made with these letter of his name. So you can really see the extensity of this particular and disturbing artwork. So I hope this helped. I want to mention also that this was made using my indigenous language, the ancient Taino, and which you will not find in any book. Thank you, and I hope that this really helps people out there. Thank you.